So, as Chaya told you, we found something very, very important. And today's going to be a very special day for you. It's going to be a very emotional day.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a happy day. So I'm going to give you the history of what happened.
Yeah.
He's not the one.
Chaya, about 10 months ago, Chaya was online.
Yeah.
And she Googled Chenchin, Glickman, Sosnovitz. And she saw that about 2 years prior, a sefer was sold at auction in Israel, that the last owner was your father. And we started right away to try and get it. And it took us 10 months. And whoever I called initially wouldn't help us. We tried, I called the auction house. I pleaded with them to tell me who bought it so we could buy it from them. But they were not very helpful.
They're not allowed to.
Right, they're not
Allowed to
they're not allowed.
disclose.
There are privacy issues, and they said write us a letter and we'll forward the letter to the buyer and we'll try to get it for you. And nothing ever became of it. Whoever I spoke to Tzvi, I spoke to this one, I spoke to that one. Everybody tried to help us, but we couldn't make any progress. We were basically every time we were hitting a dead end.
Tell
And-
Chaim who they met at the Thanksgiving dinner.
I will. Then Chaya said, Chaya has this fellow, I don't know if you remember, we met, he was at the Thanksgiving dinner. His father was an artist, remember?
Yeah.
He got up and he spoke at the end,
Yeah.
and he thanked Chaya, and he knows a lot of people because his father's a famous artist. He said, speak to this guy in Israel, he can help you. And I spoke to him, and I told him, he said, I'm going to try and help you. And he tried, and I would call him every now and then. Same story, he was hitting a dead end. The only thing we were able to find out was that the person that bought it lived in London. That was the only thing I was able to find out. Anyway, about 2 weeks ago, after the endoscopy, I got a call maybe 3-4 days later from him. He said, I don't know what happened, but they agreed to sell you the safer. We bought it. And I was at the airport this morning at 6 o'clock. Tzvi sat with someone, and I picked it up.
Israel.
And I have it right here. And how do we know that your father was the last owner of the sefer? Because it's written in the sefer. The sefer itself was printed in 1682. That's how old the sefer is. I'm going to show it to you right now. This sefer, it's called Emunah Shmuel.
Josh, where is the ultraviolet? You
thank
need
you.
this. Shut the light?
No,
No.
not yet. This here, I brought this for you. So let me. Thank you. Yeah, the other one, please. This is the sefer. It's called Emunah Shmuel. It was written by someone that lived in Kaidenov in 1682. It was printed in Germany. It was printed in Germany. Now we're gonna have to bind it, but if you open up here, I don't know, can you see? Let me show you something. This, 1 second. Look, if you look here, someone started writing. What does it say? You see what it says? It says Hakatan. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see? Is it?
Not my glasses.
Where's?
I have a pair of glasses.
Where are they?
Where's what she?
Be careful here. Yeah.
Where are they?
Why do you?
Here. Oh, thank you.
What does it say? She?
A name.
Whose name?
We're gonna find out. He's gonna know.
Have you marked
This?
Yeah?
What's this? This?
No.
Where do you have another pair, Dad?
So wait a minute, this person wrote the book, so
No.
Inside?
This Sefer was written 300 years
Yeah,
ago.
man, the talisman?
No.
82. Where is?
Inside.
Inside the kitchen.
Let me get it. Dad. 1 second. Let me get it. Don't. No. Let me get it. Where would it be?
Yeah,
In the drawer?
the door may be on the window.
Writing here. Can you see?
Maybe
Yeah.
move it over a little more to that.
Yeah.
What does it say? It says Hakatan.
Cotton.
What does it say?
Yoshiborach.
Yosef Baruch.
Yeah.
So Yosef Baruch was who? Your uncle?
My brother.
no, but your brother's
Did you-
named after him, brother.
Oh.
Did you have an uncle Yosef Baruch?
Who is he named
Your mother's
after?
brother.
Who is Yosef named after? know?
Devorah Perel's brother was Yosef Baruch.
Was your mother's
know that,
brother's your mother's brother, was his name Yosef Baruch?
Yeah, my mother's my mother's brother was Yosef Baruch. My mother's father.
Yeah. Your mother's father was?
No, Yosef Baruch was nice dude. Nice.
No, later.
Yosef Baruch. My father is oldest. My grandfather's oldest son, Yosef Baruch.
Right, exactly. Because
Yeah.
look at here. This is the last page. So it seemed he started writing over there.
Yeah.
He didn't have enough space. So he wrote here. You see what it says? Look.
Yeah.
Harav, what does it say?
Rav
I don't know
Harav
if he
Agoin
wants
Atzadik, Reb.
Does he want it?
What does it say there? Can you see? Reb Yoshua.
Sure, yeah.
Av Bezdin Tzedek Sosnafza.
Yeah.
Then Harav Agoin Atzadik, Reb Yitzchak,
Yeah.
Chosn
Up.
Mufla Shebasanhedrin. Mufla Shebasanhedrin. Maran Harav Hatzadik Michanshin Shlita. He was alive, obviously. Ben Achaben
Ben.
Me Harebe Melublin. You see what it says there? This was in your house, this Sefer. It was in your house. And look what it says here. Look what it says here. Reuben.
Yeah.
You see Reuben?
Yeah.
Feiga Glickman. Sosnovitz. Who was Feiga Glickman there? Mendel?
Feiger?
Yeah. Mendel's mother.
Yeah.
Her name was
Oh,
Glickman?
Mendel's.
Yeah, the
Mendel's
name was
brother.
Halberstam.
So who was
Halberstam.
Feiga Glickman?
Who was Feiga Glickman?
Feiger Glickman?
That's what it says. She wrote in here.
In English, letters.
Maya. Was
Maybe-
Mendel's mother named Feiger?
What was her maiden name? What was her maiden name?
How old is it?
Who know? I don't know when it was presented to your father.
Yeah, oh.
Right.
It could have been someone gave it to him in the 1920s, 30s.
That's right. She was a young lady.
She was a young-
She was the oldest daughter, sister, the older sister of my brother. What's her name?
Feige Glickman, look,
Yeah.
Reuben, you can see Glickman. I can't make that out. That's a stamp.
Stamp.
Yeah, I can't make it out. I can't make it out. Now, also, there's something else in here that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
You believe this was in. There were
Where did they find it?
Chaya. You have to thank Chaya.
Maya, it took
Got
her
it.
10 months.
We were.
She, Maya,
She found it
worked on
online.
it for
No,
10 months.
let me explain. When you want to search for something today, there's tons of information out there, and you do what's called a Google search.
Yeah, and it brings.
So sometimes I search for things,
Yeah.
and one night I was searching the name Glickman, Sosnovitz, Chenshin, and almost always, not almost always, nothing comes up. Other than family information that we know about.
Yeah.
And this one night I search, all of a sudden, bam, this lot of 2 Sfarim that was sold at this auction house in Israel called Kedem Auction House pops up. And it's attached to the name Yehoshua Glickman. So I knew I had hit something. I didn't know what it was. But then I sent it to Shia. He was sleeping because it was the middle of the night. And then when he woke up in the morning, we were able to open up and they showed you the inside flap of the sefer where your father wrote his name and his yichus.
No, he didn't write.
write
He didn't write his name.
He didn't write his name?
No.
Someone else wrote it.
Someone else wrote it. Okay.
Yeah. On this page,
But it belonged to him.
it was attached.
You know why?
Attached
You know why?
to stuck to the binding is a
Got
gray
it, got
hair. Look at that. There's a gray hair, like from a beard or something. You
Well,
see?
that's why Yosef Baruch Hakatan. Right.
You see that?
He probably wrote it. No?
You see the hair? There's a hair. So we managed, thank God, to buy it. That they agreed to sell
Wait,
us.
there's a little bit more to the story that I think I would like to share with you. So, what's very interesting is after we reached out to the auction house, and they're not allowed to disclose who their buyer is, and we asked them to send him an email and explain who we are and why we want the sefer. It's not like we wanted to sell it or it was worth
Right.
tons of money. It was valuable to the family. And the man didn't respond at all to the emails. So I said to Shia, I said, let's ask a Shaila. Maybe it belongs to us from a halachic standpoint.
Yeah.
Maybe it belongs to you because it belonged to your father.
Right.
So Josh goes and he asks his Rabbi Brown, and he says, there was Yush on the Sefer, you never even knew it existed, you never thought it existed, you don't have anything to stand on from a halachic view. Okay, anyway, one day Josh is talking to Tzvi about it. My brother-in-law sends Josh what's called a podcast. It's like a story, you listen to like shiurim and stuff online on the phone. And it's a very interesting podcast from a shliach in Siberia, Lubavitch, a shliach. Okay, he listens to it. He forwards it on to Tzvi, Josh. So Tzvi is listening to the podcast in Israel, and then he goes to listen to the next one, which Josh didn't do. And in the next one, he says to Josh, "You're not going to believe what he says." He says he knows that he couldn't quote who it was from, but there was a
tell them the story
reshon.
why. No.
Because he was. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so he was a shaliach in Siberia, this Lubavitcher Chassid, and he said that when he got there, he met some Jewish people. There was an old Jewish lady that would bring him svarim to bury. You can imagine in Siberia, chumashim, sidurim that she had in the house. Anyway, she brings him and he buries them, and she brings them again And he said to himself, you know what, I never look inside the bag. Let me see what's inside the bag, what I'm burying. So he opens up the bag, and he's going through the bag, and he sees one sefer, looks very old. He takes the sefer out, and the sefer, it was a Tanya from the first Lubavitcher Rebbe's brother-in-law. And he writes in the sefer, and he says to himself, thank God. He says, who should get this sefer if not me, that I'm a shaliach from Lubavitch? And he quotes a Rishon, and he says, I don't remember who says it, but he says there's yish and everything. That meaning yish means that if you lost something, you give up on it.
You gave up.
You gave up. So whoever finds it is now the rightful owner. He says there is yish in everything except for Sfarim, because Sfarim always
Sifrei Kodesh.
Sifrei Kodesh will always return to the rightful owner.
Wow.
So therefore, at that time,
Tzvi kept on
Tzvi
saying,
said, it's
"It's
gonna come back to you.
I promise it's gonna." And when he would ask me all, and there was never. I always said, "Tzvi, I'm hitting. It's a dead end. I can't." And then the man that got the sefer told me that 2 weeks before, they told him at the auction house, "Please stop bothering us. They don't want to sell." And then, like as if a miracle happened, they said that they agreed to sell. They just changed their mind. Now this here is the last page. That here there's not different people. It seems wrote different things.
Yeah, every sefer
Has it.
in Europe and Poland.
Yeah.
People
Wrote
wrote in
their names. Their this.
names, the days.
Yeah.
Every sefer. Except the sefer that only my father used, like the Yitzhak Moshe and other form on the table, on his table.
On his table.
Nobody
Touched.
touched. Only, but if they say, see, safe in the full shank, they took out, and they wrote the names and put it back.
Oh really?
Yeah. Because you wanted it.
That-
I mean, should be
in the family later on, someone should.
Yeah.
So who wrote this sefer?
So someone wrote it. I'm sure that's why someone gave this to your father, because it was from Kaidanov.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
here something is written, but I really can't make it out.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful with this. I have to.
We're gonna have to have it restored.
Here. Me'izavon. I can't.
Look, I see if you can find it. They were very
Word.
advanced Hebrew.
Yeah.
Me'izavon. Kvod Kocho. I can't. Harav Agon Hayofi. It says.
They didn't speak Hebrew then.
It's
No,
A lot of us spoke
no.
modern
This
Hebrew.
is someone else.
300 years
It's
ago.
all
What's
something.
Izavon? 300 years ago.
No.
What's Izavon?
No.
That's it.
But this there.
But the writing is
I'm just now. This page is ripped. I'm thinking if I should